Every trade business has the same problem. The best knowledge in the company lives inside the heads of 2 or 3 people, and those people are too busy doing the work to stop and write any of it down. Today, we're going to fix that. This is how a regional plumbing company used AI to turn a supervisor's raw voice memo into a complete, ready to publish training module in under 15 minutes. Same workflow works for any business with processes that aren't on paper yet. Here's the honest reality of most training materials. They start as a wall of unformatted text or a hand-scrawled notes in a binder nobody reads or nothing at all. And what new hires actually need is the opposite. Numbered steps, checklists, context for why each step matters. The gap between those two things doesn't just create confusion. It costs supervisors time every time a new hire has a question, and it produces wildly inconsistent results based on whoever happened to be available to train them. So let's put some numbers to it. A single training doc written from scratch takes a supervisor 3 to 5 hours. Most small businesses have 10 to 20 processes with no documentation at all. And when those docs are unclear or missing, new hires spend 40 plus extra hours figuring things out through trial, error, and repeated questions. That's the hidden tax. It's not visible on a budget line, but it shows up every time a new person walks through the door. The reason AI is good at this is the same reason it's good at proposals, SOPs, and client reports. Training documents follow predictable patterns: purpose statement, materials list, numbered steps, safety checkpoints. AI has processed millions of structured documents and knows exactly what belongs where. Your raw notes go in, a formatted first draft comes out. The human reviews for accuracy and fills in what AI can't know. That's the whole workflow. So here's the actual input we started with. 47 seconds of voice memo from a plumbing supervisor describing a water heater call. No formatting, no structure, just stream of consciousness. Check the shutoff first. Take photos before touching anything. Find the model number on the side panel. Everything a new technician needs is buried in there. It's not organized, but it's real. And that's all AI needs to work with. A voice memo transcript, a rough set of bullet points, even a rambling brain dump. Any one of those work as starting material. The prompt has 5 fields and each one does a specific job. Task type tells AI what kind of document it's building. The process section is where the raw notes go. Audience shapes the vocabulary. A doc written for a first-year technician reads differently than one for a mid-career hire. Format tells AI exactly which sections to produce so nothing gets skipped. And tone prevents the robotic filler language that makes training docs feel like legal disclaimers. 5 minutes to fill this out. That investment is what separates a generic first draft from something that's actually usable. What comes back in under 90 seconds is a complete document. Purpose statement at the top, tools and material checklist, numbered steps in sequence, safety checkpoints flagged where they belong, common mistakes listed at the end. Every section AI was asked to produce is there. The supervisor's knowledge is intact. AI didn't invent anything. It just gave everything a shape that a new hire can actually follow without needing someone standing next to him. This is the most important slide here. On one side, gotta take photos before touching anything for the warranty claim. On the other side, a structured step with a header, clear instruction, the reason it matters, and an explicit action step. Same information, completely different utility. AI didn't know more than the supervisor. It applied architecture to what the supervisor already knew. That's the distinction worth holding on to. This isn't AI replacing expertise. This is AI making expertise transferable. The first draft captures structure and sequence. The refinement pass is where the document becomes genuinely good. One follow-up prompt: add a why this matters sentence to each major step explaining the consequences of skipping it. Before that prompt, step 3 reads, check the model number on the side panel. After it reads, check the model number on the side panel. Ordering the wrong parts is the number one cause of return trips, and this takes 10 seconds to prevent a wasted visit. That's not a minor edit, that's the difference between a checklist and a teaching tool, and it costs one additional prompt. 3 things stay with the human every single time. First, step sequencing. AI builds a logical order, but logical and correct aren't always the same thing on a real job site. A supervisor needs to verify the steps match actual field conditions. Second, what AI can't know. Seasonal quirks, neighborhood supply line issues, specific customer situations, local code variations. None of those are in the raw notes, and AI won't invent it. Third, safety language. Before that doc gets published, every safety step needs to be verified against actual company policy and current regulatory standards. AI is not a licensed inspector. That review is non-negotiable. One afternoon, same prompt template. 14 different processes documented. Water heater replacement, shutoff valve replacement, drain cleaning, customer call script, warranty claim process, dispatch checklist. Each one started as raw notes from a supervisor. Each one came back as a structured, reviewable document. The workflow doesn't change, only the input does. What took years to accumulate in someone's head is now written down, consistent, and available to anyone who needs it. The same workflow isn't limited to technical procedures. Customer communication scripts, consistent language for scheduling calls, upsell conversations, complaint handling, and follow-ups, equipment inspection checklists, pre-job and post-job flows that reduce missed items and liability exposure, escalation decision trees, clear if-then logic for when to call the supervisor, flag a code concern, or walk away from a job. If a process exists in someone's head and follows any kind of repeatable pattern, AI can help structure it. The format changes, the workflow doesn't. And here's a piece most people don't think to ask for. After the training module is complete, one more follow-up prompt generates a 5-question comprehension quiz. Multiple choice, correct answers included, 1-sentence explanation for each. Supervisors don't need to write the test. They just need to decide who takes it and what score passes. From raw voice memo to structured training doc to knowledge check, all in the same session. That's not small capability. That's a complete onboarding asset built from 47 seconds of audio. And if you've watched Making AI Make Sense, this clicks a little faster. Training documents have predictable structures, which means they're exactly the kind of pattern AI was built to recognize and replicate. The specificity principle from video 5 explains why the 5-field prompt produces a better first draft than vague instruction would. And the task decomposition video from video 7 is what happens when you separate the first draft prompt from the refinement prompt. 2 focused passes beat 1 overloaded one. Those aren't separate techniques, they compound. 3 things to watch for on every first draft. Generic steps that miss site-specific nuance. AI writes for the general case, and your supervisor catches the local exception. This is why the human review step exists. Safety language that sounds correct but may not meet code. Plausible and compliant are not the same thing, and AI can't make that distinction. And overstructured docs that feel robotic. One light editing pass, reading the document in your own voice, resolves this in about 5 minutes. None of these are arguments against using AI for this. They're the review checklist for after you do. The manual way, 3 to 5 hours per document, inconsistent quality, often never completed. For AI assisted, 15 to 30 minutes per document, consistent format every time, same day completion is realistic. 10 processes times 4 hours saved is 40 hours returned. That's a full work week, recovered from one afternoon of documentation that most businesses have been putting off for years. The ROI isn't hypothetical. It's the hours that were being lost every time a new hire asked a question that should have been answered on paper already. There are four signals that the undocumented processes are already costing more than they appear to. New hires keep asking the same question. The answer exists, it's just not written anywhere they can find it. Quality varies based on who trained them. Training shouldn't be a lottery. A key person leaving would take critical knowledge with them. If one departure creates a crisis, that knowledge was never really protected. And onboarding takes weeks when it should take days. If any of those are true, the gap isn't a future problem, it's a current one. This is the prompt. Go ahead and copy it. The only thing that changes each time is what goes inside the brackets. Process to document, audience, and any formal adjustments for the specific type of doc you're building. Start with the rawest input you have. A voice memo transcript, a bullet list, a brain dump from a supervisor between jobs. The prompt handles the rest. 3 steps. Start here, refine once, publish. The whole workflow from raw notes to usable training doc is 15 to 30 minutes. Most teams could finish their 10 highest priority processes in a single afternoon. Your team's knowledge is the most valuable thing in your business. The problem isn't that it doesn't exist. The problem is it's stored in 2 or 3 people's heads instead of in a format anyone can access. Raw notes are enough input. AI handles the structure. One afternoon can capture what took a decade to learn. And new hires get the same quality guidance whether the best supervisor is available or not. That's not a small thing. That's how businesses scale without losing what made it good in the first place. This is part of our Making AI Work series, practical workflows that show what AI actually does to tasks that used to take much longer. Pick your messiest, most asked about process. Record a 60-second voice memo. Paste the transcript into the prompt and see how fast it goes. If you need any of this at scale for your team, let's talk. Be sure to subscribe for new workflows every week. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.